So our problem when it came to the factory method is that we had a client that need to create something and it uses a factory, in our case, a factory method, and creates an object passing in a context. The factory could then create the concrete subclass. The client would use a simple interface and not be aware of the various concrete subclasses. So this is our situation. But what if the client can't be aware of the context or is totally unaware of the context? Well, in that case, we want to use a slightly different pattern called abstract factory. And we'll take a look at that one. For illustration, let me minimize this example or this context and copy in a concrete example. In this example, we have a simple user interface library that consists of widgets. The client is unaware of what operating system we're working on. And to make that work, what we've done is we have created interfaces for the common widgets, such as window, scroll bar in this example. We have various implementation here shown with an X window versus a Microsoft window, X scroll bar versus a MS scroll bar. But our hope is that the client can use only the interface and be unaware of the operating system. To achieve this, we will introduce a widget factory. The widget factory will have an interface such as create window, create scroll bar. But the widget factory is just an interface. We will have various implementations of the widget factory. We would have one for creating, say, X windows, and it would have to implement the create window and the create scroll bar. And when we call create window, it will create an X window. When we call create scroll bar, it will create an X scroll bar. But the client can use this widget factory without knowing what kind of window will come back. We call this pattern abstract factory because we have introduced an interface, the widget factory, that has various concrete implementation, the widget factory being the abstract factory. Let's try to abstract this and take a look at this from the Gang of Four patterns view and introduce the right roles. Here I've copied in the abstract solution to the pattern. And we see that we have a client here up top right that creates object using the factory. Now the factory, we will have only one implementation based on context typically. So we create one of the concrete factory, and through polymorphism, we'll pick the right creation method associated with the correct product. We had various kinds of widgets in our example. They call them products. So the client can then simply use the products interface without ever knowing the concrete implementation. So we basically have one factory that has been instantiated to create a family of objects based on some external context that the client is unaware of.